She was shivering in the cold morning light, her bare feet pressed against the hard, cracked dirt of the roadside. Her dress, once a soft yellow, was now torn and smeared with dust and dried blood. Her hair hung in wild, tangled strands around her face, and her arms were wrapped tightly around her knees like a barrier against the world. She looked no older than 20, but life had written pain in every shadow of her hollowed eyes. No one stopped. No one asked. Cars passed, tires hissing like whispers that said, "Not my problem." Until one did stop. And everything changed. An old blue truck pulled to the side of the road. The engine hummed low before falling silent. A man stepped out mid-30s, tall, dressed in work jeans and a jacket stained with paint and sawdust. He moved slowly, not to frighten her, hands visible and voice low. "You're safe now," he said gently, crouching down just a few feet away from her. The girl didn't move, didn't speak. Her lips were cracked, her arms trembling, but her eyes flicked toward him. Suspicion, fear, and hope wrestled in that one glance. "My name's Caleb. I'm not here to hurt you," he said, setting down a thermos and a flannel blanket on the gravel between them. "I brought water. It's warm. And the blanket's clean." Still, she didn't reach for it. Caleb didn't push. He just sat there on the edge of the road like he had all the time in the world. The breeze rustled the dry weeds, a crow cawed in the distance, and the world didn't stop. But for this moment, for her, it paused. After several minutes, the girl reached forward. Her hand trembled as she took the thermos, unscrewed the cap, and drank. The water spilled a little down her chin. She gasped like it hurt, like her body had forgotten how to accept kindness. Caleb waited. Eventually, she whispered, "I'm Lily." Lily had no family left. Her mother had passed from illness 2 years ago. Her stepfather had taken over afterward, the kind of man who used fear as his only language. She ran when she turned 18, hoping freedom was better than fear. It was, at first. Until the man she trusted with her escape used her, discarded her, and dumped her like trash by the road near a town she'd never even heard of. She'd spent 2 nights curled up by the roadside. 2 nights of pain, fear, and hunger. And just when she thought no one would ever see her as human again, Caleb showed up. He didn't ask too many questions. He didn't touch her without permission. He gave her the choice. His house wasn't big, just a 2-bedroom place with creaky floors and chipped paint, but it was warm. It smelled like wood and coffee and something comforting. He gave her space. The guest room became her world for the first few days. She'd flinch at loud sounds, shrink from her own reflection, and sleep in brief, startled bursts. But there were small things, clean towels folded neatly, a mug of tea left outside her door, and soft music drifting in from the kitchen where Caleb worked in the mornings building cabinets and furniture. He didn't pry. He offered, then waited. Eventually, she came to the kitchen. "I can help," she said one morning. Her voice was still quiet, like someone afraid it might be taken from her again. Caleb smiled. "You don't have to. But if you want to, I'd be glad." He showed her how to sand the edges of the wood smooth. Her hands were hesitant at first, and used to gentleness. But as the days passed, her hands found steadiness in the grain of the wood, the rhythm of purpose. She began to ask questions. About sanding. About stains and finishes. About life. And slowly, she began to tell hers. One rainy night, she sat by the fire and finally told him the whole story. Not everything. But enough. Enough that he knew the depth of what she carried. "I thought I'd never matter again," she whispered, staring into the flames. "I thought I was ruined." Caleb shook his head. "You were never ruined. People like that, they try to take your light. But they didn't succeed, Lily. You're still here." That night, she cried. But it was different from the silent, hopeless sobs of the past. These were cleansing, raw, and full of release. Weeks turned to months. Lily began helping Caleb with orders. She learned how to stain, how to polish, how to carve even. She even went into town with him sometimes, though crowds still made her uneasy. People started asking questions. New apprentice? She's got a good eye for design. She's different now. Stronger. Lily still had bad nights. Shadows didn't leave easily. But she was no longer afraid to ask for light. One day, she stood in front of a mirror. Her reflection looked back, still scarred, but not broken. Her hair was brushed. Her eyes were clearer. There was a flicker of someone she remembered being long ago, and someone new she was becoming. One morning, she asked Caleb, "Why did you stop that day?" "You didn't know me." He paused from sanding a table leg. "Because I saw someone who needed help. And I couldn't keep driving, knowing that." "That simple?" He smiled. "Sometimes the right thing is simple. Just hard to do." Lily nodded. Her hands gripped the edges of the wood she was working on, the grain smooth beneath her palms. She understood now. She had been left in rags, yes. She had been broken, abandoned. But the story didn't end there. It ended here on a quiet patch of land, in a small workshop, where sawdust danced in golden light and healing came in slow, beautiful waves. Or maybe it didn't end at all. Maybe it was just beginning.